Say, oh playmate. Come out and play with me. Bring out your dollies 3. Climb up my apple tree. Slide down my rainbow. Into my cellar door. And we'll be jolly friends. Forevermore 1, 2, 3, 4. Madison tried once more to reach her cousin as her frustration mounted. Why wouldn't Kennedy answer her? Don't let her be dead, please God, anything but dead. Damn it, Kennedy, answer me right now. Madison yelled. She sought solace in the woods surrounding the house and reached her hands up above her head and grabbed onto the lowest branch. In less than a minute, she pulled herself up and climbed midway up the tree and sat on a thick branch. Please just let me know you are alive. Madison's chin dropped to her chest and her hair covered her face as tears sprung into her eyes. I can't think of the alternative, I can't.
Say, oh playmate. I cannot play today. My dollies have the flu. Hear me cry boo-hoo, boo-hoo. My apple tree is dead, my rainbow has gone away. My cellar door is locked. Forevermore 1, 2, 3, 4.
The whispered words flittered across Madison's heart and exploded her heart with joy. Kennedy lived, just as Madison had done when as a schoolgirl, she hopped right out of the tree and landed on solid ground. The woman 2 decades older than the schoolgirl protested as her knees ached from the impact. She sprinted toward the house and burst through the front door. She's alive, Kennedy is alive. She exclaimed, a little out of breath. Her grandmother and mother both gave her a look of confusion, so she explained the handshake rhyme connection.
Why did her sound so morose?
Her mother asked. Madison smiled, still giddy, and replied. She couldn't talk, someone must have been near. We used to do when our parents wouldn't let us play outside for whatever reason.
Oh,
Her mother said with a frown.
you had a secret code and I didn't know about it.
That's why it's a secret, darling.
Her grandmother replied.
I thought we shared things.
Her mother said in a nasally voice that displayed her dislike of not knowing everything in Madison's life. Like you shared who my real father was, or my real species for that matter. Let's face it, mother, we kept secrets from each other. Mine were just a little more childish than yours. For some reason, her mother's attitude ruined Madison's high spirits. It still bothered her that the woman would hire a man to be her father instead of the man who'd created her. She understood their reasons, but it didn't mean she accepted it. Her ire grew with each passing heartbeat.
Oh, Maddie, the past is the past. You know now, what difference does it make?
Madison could only stare at her mother. What fantasy world did she live in that she would even ask such a question? I can't believe you asked that. What difference does it make? I had grandparents, an uncle, and a real father who loved me. Family has always been the one thing I craved beyond all others.
I grew up in a boarding school away from my parents and it didn't do me any harm. You grew up to be a lovely woman, growing up away from your family. It all works out in the end.
Madison rolled her eyes as she shook her head. You couldn't miss the point more if you tried. I think I've handled every bit of the news you dumped on me quite well, but do not belittle the part you played in it.
Are you angry with me?
Her mother asked.
Vivian, darling, do stop speaking before you turn a tense moment into an explosive one. Madison, love, please go tell your angel friends of your discovery. Perhaps they can trace her location from the connection you two made.
Her grandmother made a decent referee. I'll do that, she said with a smile. As she walked back toward the front door, Madison turned once more at her mother, who looked just as confused as she did at the abrupt end to the discussion. Mother, to answer your question, yes, I'm angry that you didn't trust your own child with the secrets of the life you lived. 2 people cannot be close if there are walls of deceit between them. The door made a soft click as she closed it behind her and she left in search of the angels. She found Brian first and smiled. Not in the mood to be around a room full of people, it suited her to find him first and alone, though he didn't look as if he'd win any awards for Happy Camper of the Year either. He stared off in a direction she couldn't see, so she walked closer to find the object of his ire. Her Uncle Jackrin stood in a small section in the backyard with logs of wood around him. With an axe in hand, he split the logs into chunks small enough to fit in a fireplace. Stop glowering, you'll get wrinkles. He turned at her words and she smiled at him.
I don't like him.
You don't even know him.
He stabbed you.
I came close to neutering him. That brought a small smile to his stiff lips. The corner turned upwards just a tad bit as he let out a humph of approval. He's bound to be a useful ally. He might even know Mastema. She said. Kennedy is alive. I connected with her a few moments ago. To her utter surprise, his entire demeanor changed. Thunder clouds rolled into his eyes as his face turned red. A vein throbbed at his temple.
You connected with her alone.
He barked so loud, Jacqueline overheard his bellow and looked in their direction. I had to know if she was alive. Madison snapped, confused at his reaction. He took a breath and composed himself, but his words had a bite to them as he replied.
Every time you open a connection, Mastema will follow it. He's probably on his way here right now.
Let him come, I want this to end. She met his tone word for word as her own voice rose to a yell. I'm so tired of waiting. I want Kennedy here with me, safe. I'm not going to apologize for doing something while everyone else twiddles their thumbs.
How can I protect you if you continue to put yourself in danger?
He asked. I didn't ask you to protect me.
We came here because Mastema knew where you lived. We've been here a few hours, and already you've rolled out the welcome mat.
I will do whatever it takes to bring her home. I thought you'd be happy to know she was still alive.
The halfling told you she was still alive, Madison. You had no reason to open a connection. It takes years of training to master the art enough to block others from listening in. He's had years. You've had days.
Though his words had merit, they still didn't sit well with her. I needed to know, I needed to hear her voice.
Now he has no need to keep her alive. His real target just put a bull's eye on her back.
Madison's mouth fell open and the blood drained from her face. You don't know that. She whispered.
We'll soon find out.
Ice clutched her heart as she thought on what he said. Though she didn't want him to be right, the truth crept up her spine and filled her with dread. Oh God, what have I done? She asked. Brian's expression softened as he drew her to him. A sob escaped her throat when his arms crushed around her body.
I didn't mean to say it like that.
He whispered against her hair.
It just scares me to think of him getting to you. I can't lose you.
His tone gentle, he spoke reassuring words that did little to appease the guilt that kept her emotions captive. If anything happened to Kennedy, Madison knew it would be her fault. She jumped the gun and gave Mastema the lead he needed to find her.
We'll go after him tonight.
Brian squeezed her in a hug before pulling back and holding her at her shoulders.
I'll go tell the others. I want you to stay close to the cabin and wait for me to return.
Still shaken by his abrupt tone and harsh words, she could do nothing more than nod as he strode away. Fear for Kennedy's safety drove her forward as she stepped one foot in front of the other. She had no desire to go through another scene with her mother, so instead of walking in the cabin, she walked toward the woods. She'd stay close enough to see it, but far enough away to find peace and perspective. Through the thicket of lush trees and scattered pine cones, she moved forward until the grip on her heart loosened and she could breathe. Her emotions ranged from fear to guilt, with a healthy dose of anger mixed in. He didn't have to make it seem as if she killed her cousin by her actions. How was she supposed to know that any connection to Kennedy would be intercepted by Mastema? Sure, there's always been a chance, but it didn't mean it was a certainty, right? A dark sensation crept through her. It lay upon her soul like an anvil and brought her spirits crashing to the ground. Madison fell to her knees. I don't know what to do. She whispered. I need guidance. As her fell forward, her hand touched the ground in front of her. Kennedy, she cried. Be safe, be strong, and come back to me. A rumble shook the earth with such force it knocked Madison off balance and she fell on her side. Pine needles cushioned her as they entwined with her hair. The ground shook with a mighty lurch. Madison cried out and scooted back to find protection under a large tree. Not that it made sense to sit beside something that could fall on her during an earthquake, but it comforted her nonetheless. It surprised her to experience an earthquake in the mountains of North Carolina. Madison watched in horror as the ground in front of her caved in. It continued to sink further and further away from the surface. With her back against the tree, she wrapped her arms around its trunk and pressed her body tight against it. Her shoulders ached from the awkward position, but she refused to let go as a giant hole appeared. It looked like a sinkhole that went straight to hell. After the ground stopped its shaking, she took a hesitant step toward the crater. It looked as big as a medium-sized sedan, only round and never-ending. Though she only peered over the edge a little, she couldn't see the bottom, so its depth couldn't be determined. "What the heck is that?" she asked aloud. She leaned back against the tree once more and closed her eyes to figure out what had just occurred.